Liza. Yeah. That totally makes sense. Oh, awesome. Well, I'm Izzy. Welcome. I'm an evolutionary astrologer for those of you who are joining me for the first time. Every Sunday I go live at 4 p.m. PST to talk about the astrology forecast for the week ahead. So that's what we're going to be jumping into here. So to kind of get things started, this week, obviously, we're about to jump into the new year. And New Year is a very interesting concept to me personally. I'm gonna go ahead and pause this music. It's an interesting concept to me because of the fact that astrologically, the new year happens in it's on March 20th, spring equinox. And so this sort of concept of the Gregorian calendar as we're jumping into New Year is always interesting to me. So I'm like, is it? But there's still gonna be some really powerful like new energy that is coming up for us as we shift into 2026, and I'm really excited, especially just some of the transits that are happening this week. And another fun thing that I did for myself personally is I bought a huge calendar and I wrote out all the transits. So I've just been really deep in the process. Yeah, the first 3 months are like, it's winter time, guys. It's winter. Like, we're not supposed to be technically like doing anything. So it's a very interesting concept in that regard. But to kind of get started with the week ahead, we're going to be talking about December 29th, 2025 until January 4th, 2026. Wow. I love hitting people with the like, I'll see you next year. I'm one of those. So if this thank you. It is not just for those of you on TikTok. Somebody asked me on that other platform about my tattoo, which some of you can see it better on Twitch. It is not astrology related. It has to do with my heart. It's right over my heart chakra, and it's just a representation of my heart. Yeah. Digging deep into rest, really rooting in. I fucking feel that. Like, it's felt potent, the rest. For those of you who have consecutively joined me the last I'd say 4 to 5 weeks, we've been talking about a lot, like a very similar energy. You have an 8th house Mercury also. Hell yeah, I tend to gather the 8th house Mercuries to my account. So for the week ahead, we're starting off the week on Tuesday the 30th. Thanks for the follow. We have an exact square happening from Mercury to Saturn. And again, for a refresh for those of you who are joining me for the first time, when I'm talking about these transits, I'm talking about the exact time that they are coming into what I like to say exactitude, so the exact degree where they're making an aspect to each other, so whether that be a square, conjunction, opposition, etc. Yes, astrology, I'm gonna be sharing my screen, Liza, so you'll be able to see some really cool stuff you've probably never seen if you're new to astrology. So on not January, we're not there yet, Izzy. On Tuesday the 30th, Mercury is squaring Saturn, and we've had these squares happening a lot, and we'll dive deeper into that as I go through the charts for the week. And then on the 1st, on the 1st, Mercury makes a square to Neptune, and then Mercury moves into Capricorn. On the 1st. On Friday the 2nd, Chiron stations direct, which is epic. On Saturday the 3rd, we have a full moon in Cancer at 13 degrees. It's going to be very interesting. And then on Sunday the 4th, we don't have any exact transits. So just a couple of transits happening to kind of close out 2025 and to start the beginning of the year. So I'm going to be switching over to share my screen. Let me set the date correctly and jump around here. Let me... Oh, what the heck? let me move this guy because we're going to jump over here, and for you guys we're going to jump over here. Cool. So you guys should be able to see my screen. Let me know if there's any obstructions or you don't see it. Awesome. Cool. So what we're looking at here is a snapshot of the sky, specifically on December 29th, 2025. So we're going to skip ahead. I'm going to jump ahead one more day to get to that day that I was talking about when I just talked about the transits that are coming up. So and thank you for everybody who is in my live for liking and sharing. It gets my content out to other people who might enjoy it as well. So definitely tap your screen if you haven't. It really helps me out and I appreciate it. Okay, so on Tuesday the 30th, what we're looking at here is Mercury is squaring Saturn. I'm going to jump back to maybe about 3 p.m. just to get Mercury kind of at a specific point. It's thinking really hard. There we go. I'm such a stickler for things being exact, so I'm going to jump back a little bit more. So Mercury's at 26 degrees. Okay, so what we're looking at here is we have Mercury at 26 degrees and Saturn is at 26 degrees. So Mercury is in Sagittarius and Saturn is in Pisces. Saturn is finishing its last pass through Pisces. And making a square. Mercury's making the square technically to Saturn here. And these squares have been fucking uncomfortable, to put it lightly. Like, I genuinely cannot express it enough. For those of you who this is your first time joining me on my live streams, and I do want to preface, by the way, if this is your first time joining me and you can't stay for the full time, it's totally fine. I re-upload my live stream to YouTube, and additionally I write a newsletter called Letters from the 8th House that takes everything that I share here and put it in a written format, and I share it to your email every Monday morning. So if you want to sign up, you can sign up with the link in my bio, or if you are over on Twitch, you can do a command of links and get that. Okay, so on the 30th, Mercury has been in Sagittarius, and again, I feel like a broken record telling you guys about all this Capricorn energy, and that we're going to have all the personal planets in Capricorn starting off this new year, which is really fucking powerful in my opinion. And so Mercury, having been in Sagittarius for a hot minute, because we had a Mercury retrograde, and Mercury in Sagittarius is very speaks their truth, wants to speak their truth, and their truth is their truth, and they can just say it. Let their freak flag fly. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Now the square is uncomfortable energy, and squares are 90-degree angles that create tension. And this tension that is happening is with Saturn, with our structure, our discipline. And we've had Venus go through this, we've had the Sun go through this square, and Mars go through this square. So Mercury's the last one to go through it. And I kind of see it as a beautiful, beautiful gift to ourselves to really allow our walls to be broken down with tension, with uncomfortability, with essentially all those really cool things that are how do I want to say it, all the stagnancy that has been essentially kind of left over from this entire year, essentially. And I know that's like a pretty heavy way to put this, but we've kind of built up these it's kind of breaking down the illusions that we've built. And Saturn's been in Pisces the last 2.5 years, really having us work on our emotional discernment, emotional discipline. And so again, this is kind of to reiterate all these squares that we've been through. We are now bringing our voice into the conversation. And now it's almost as though you can speak the truth. You can speak to these experiences that you've been moving through on an internal level. And I almost feel as though Mercury moving through this aspect now as well is really allowing us to break open and to break free and to really allow ourselves to say what we want to say, to let it come out. And again, this 90-degree angle to Saturn, Saturn talks about universal truth, right? And Mercury in Sagittarius is all about using its freak flag fly, kind of like, let my truth be shared. Welcome, Dree. So I'm not doing any live readings. I will never do a live astrological reading because this is your soul, and I will never do that kind of deep psychological work live. But if you are interested in getting a reading with me, all of that's linked in my bio, and I would love the opportunity to dive into your chart. Yeah, absolutely. The link is in my bio. And you can book with me there. I would love to do that for you. And so we are just talking about the astrological forecast for the week ahead. For any of you who are just joining for the first time, welcome. So again, just tapping back into this energy for December 30th, this Mercury square Saturn is really having us, I literally see like an actual throat chakra block, and it's like almost where you've been restricting saying your truth or sharing your truth. But then Saturn on the other end is saying like, well, you know, like right time, right place almost. So a forecast reading means I'm looking at the astrological transfigurations for different times. We're looking at the week ahead. So it's almost like the weather forecast, but it's energy forecast, looking at where the planets are and what they're doing. And for those of you, again, who can't stay for the full duration, you can subscribe to my YouTube. I'll be re-uploading this to YouTube, and then my newsletter. So if you're not on my newsletter, you can subscribe and you'll get this to your inbox in a beautifully written format. So I feel like this like frustration with this Mercury square Saturn, where it almost seems like the little kid pointing their finger at the big bad authority figures in their life and saying, well, you're wrong, well, this is my truth, and you just want to keep, like, you're just trying to whatever it is. It's unique for everybody depending on where Sagittarius is within your chart and where Pisces is in your chart. Hello, Harmony, welcome. And so there's like this feeling that's happening here that really is like, I almost just feel this urge to scream with this square, where it's like, I just want to like express for the sake of expressing, but there's a level of like, am I expressing to express, or am I expressing to actually really share something that I've been working on and moving through and learning for myself? Or are you just doing it because it's fuck authority, fuck the systems, fuck whatever it is, this emotional discipline you've been building? So it really is like a fine line of like, do I want, should I, shouldn't I? Should I, shouldn't I? And I don't have the right answer for you guys. I don't have the answer for you guys. It's tends to be triggered by external circumstances, or sometimes like your own inner authority that you've been developing. And so I'm seeing like a spirit is showing me like a pond with like a crack in it, and it's like the more and more pressure that you put on this, it's gonna break. And it feels like there's just gonna be this like vocal expression about your truth, personal truth versus universal truth. That has been the theme of these squares happening from the Sagittarius energy to the Pisces energy. And welcome to those of you who are joining. We're talking about the astrological forecast for the week ahead. Liking and sharing my live is the best way you guys can support me if you're here. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump ahead to January 1st. I do want to do a little touch on the 31st, to just kind of give you guys like, you just booked a video reading with it. Yay! Oh my gosh, yes, Amber, I saw that. Welcome, Carnivore. Howdy. Yes, I saw. It was actually cute. It was like when you liked my video, I saw your name and then I saw the like booking come through. So I'm super excited. Yes. So just a little energetic touch into just New Year's. My boyfriend was bringing this up. He's like, I saw a video where somebody said like, don't go out on New Year's. And guys, a lot of astrologers will just fearmonger you for views. I fucking hate that. And I was like, what are you talking about? So I literally looked at the astrology. The moon's going to be in Gemini. And so on a like subconscious, like, cause we're all a part of this like subconscious, emotional level, right? And that's governed by the moon. And Gemini energy is a lot of back and forth. It's actually a really good opportunity to talk and to like connect. But this is where you have to use your own discernment, guys, of like, are you in the mood to go out or not? You have Chiron in Gemini. Yeah, maybe the moon might touch on your Chiron, depending on the degree. If it's in the earlier degrees of Gemini, it definitely might feel that way. But again, just a little energetic check for this New Year's Eve into New Year's Day. The moon's going to be in Gemini. Gemini energy gets a bad rep. Gemini is the twins, guys. And the twins are Castor and Pollux, and their story is one is immortal and one is mortal. So one lives forever and one has a regular human life, and they're connected. And it's sort of this crazy feeling of like mortality versus immortality, time versus no time, right? The illusion of time. And so there's a lot of energy with the Gemini energy, because on one level Geminis can discern things from this like immortal perspective and be like, this is just a part of things, but then there's a part of them that's fighting and like afraid of death, right? And then there's one that's like, death isn't really real. And so there's always this duality that's happening within them. And so depending, I could go in on this Gemini energy, but bringing that into context for New Year's Eve, like the moon being in Gemini, I can just, it's going to pass over Uranus and Taurus for a second. And then, thanks for the follow, Carnivore. Appreciate it. Thanks, Jessica. Appreciate the follow, you guys. And liking and sharing my live is the best way you can support me when I'm live here. Obviously getting readings from me is another way, but, I would love the opportunity for those of you who want to get a natal chart reading from me. Thank you guys. So I don't see, like, genuinely when I'm looking at the chart here, like, yes, we do have some squares still happening. I do still see we have these squares happening here. There's a opposition happening between Lilith and Uranus, but this isn't anything that we haven't seen before, so it's not like any blindsiding energy. So like, guys, this is where you have to use your own discernment. Do you want to go out on New Year's or do you not? Is my boyfriend an astrologer as well? No, he is not. I have in the past dated astrologers. Don't date us, guys, we're crazy. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just like, how do you pluralize blind spotted? I don't know. But anyways, I think New Year's Day is fine. New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, like, guys, this is where it's like, again, a lot of astrologers will just say some really like controversial stuff with nothing to back it up. If they are unable to bring the facts and figures of the actual astrology, don't buy into it. Don't buy into it. Okay. So let's go ahead and jump to the 1st, because that is where we're having this last blindsiding. Graham, thank you. Yes, I was like, I'm like, what is it? Like, what? I don't know. Sweet. So, okay. Oh, I didn't mean to zoom in. Sorry, guys. Jumping here. So this is the last. We're almost free. Mercury now, and we were talking about Mercury earlier, is making a square to Neptune. So kind of sandwiched between, and this energy is very, very familiar, guys. Our new moon in Sagittarius that we had about a week and a half ago, all the energy of Venus and Mars and the sun and the moon all went through these squares to Neptune and Saturn. So this is kind of like the finalization of this tension that we all have been going through. These holidays were not easy for a lot of people. It brought up a lot of pain, a lot of irritation, where you see that you've been holding yourself back, or not saying your truth, or not expressing your truth, or how you feel, or, you know, thinking about relatives, thinking about a lot of us that are in circumstances where maybe your beliefs are different, and a lot of belief stuff can get wrapped into the Saturn Pisces, Neptune Pisces energy. No, I love you guys chatting. Amber, I absolutely love it. It's why I live stream. I could be sitting here talking about the forecast and upload it to YouTube if I didn't. I love chatting. Yeah, no, don't apologize for being you. I love it. I get distracted easily. That's my issue. I'll be like, pew, 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 pew. See, again, distracted easily. I have a background in remote teaching. I used to teach middle and high schoolers video game design remotely. I actually still technically do. Trying to teach like web design to a bunch of Gen Z teenagers. So I have a tolerance, I guess. Like, this group is crazy that I'm with right now, so it is really cool. It is really cool. I'm very lucky. Anyways, back. Yeah, my friend Harmony on the Twitch stream said hands up, because like if they're like not doing things, I'll tell them like, hands up, put your hands up off the keyboard, don't touch anything. And so then they're all like this, and then I go dance, and some of them will dance. It's really funny. But I like being the fun teacher. All right, so this Mercury squaring Neptune, this is like, these squares are so fucking frustrating. I can't, hell yeah, Amber, I love it. I can't like stress how frustrating these squares have been for all of us collectively, because it's just like, yes, you are initiated. I'm like, how do I want to describe that? Because now Mercury's squaring Neptune, and Neptune's the planet of dissolving. And so it's kind of like you went through this frustrating energy with Saturn and really butted up against these edges that are like happening, whether internally, externally, that's yours to discern. And then we go into Neptune, and then it's kind of like, it's a little gaslighty. I'm not gonna lie. Like, the square to Neptune's like, did that really happen? Did you really just set a boundary? Or did you not? And so maybe there might be some edges of like disrespect, or maybe like you have to speak up again, and you're like, I can't believe I have to say this again. So there's just this a little bit of like more tension, and it's all in the all in your favor ultimately for clearing things out. Again, we've had Venus, we've had the sun, and we've had Mars already go through this square. Thanks for the follow, Joy. So let me kind of break that down a little bit. So for those of you who are joining me for the first time, understand this. Mars is our drive, our will to get things done. It's our masculine energy. The sun is our ego expression. Venus is the way we give and receive love. And then now Mercury is like the last piece. It's our voice. It's our voice saying it. So it's like all these pieces where maybe it's been an internal thing where you're kind of getting your ducks in a row, so then you could like say the thing. And Mercury is the last one, and I'm getting full body chills, which is the confirmation for me that like, yes. And my friend Harmony over on Twitch just said, you're describing the collective reading I uploaded. I wish I could can I tag you in the TikTok stream? I don't know if I can. I wish I could. Maybe pop in and say hi. Yeah. Or yeah, plug your at. But yeah, and something that I don't think I can. So if you're able to jump in on your phone into my live, yeah, there she is. Everybody give Harmony a follow. I guess she did a collective reading that was very akin to what I'm talking about here. And you'll find in my collective readings on this account, 8th House Mercury, I'll tune into those nuances without realizing I'm talking about it's all reflective, right? As above, so below, as within, so without. That's the astrology, like microcosm, macrocosm. So yeah, so cool stuff. Yeah, Harmony's in the chat. Let's freaking go. She's an amazing reader and amazing energy worker. She does Reiki, and she does long distance Reiki. You guys, if you've ever like had that desire to have Reiki done, but maybe it's not available to you like physically, I'll tell you, I've had sessions with her and it's been fucking profound. Yeah, absolutely. It's always an honor to support my friends. So yeah, I guess last little thing to say about this Mercury, and it's going to be very powerful. I want to say this because Mercury is here in Sagittarius. It's the last degrees. It's the anaretic degree of Sagittarius. So it's like, it's kind of like this, like, I'm seeing it's almost, they just, sometimes spirit comes through with this too. They're like, here's a better way to describe this, is it's like a dragon and like the smoke gathering in its like throat to like expel the fire, and it's like it needs to come out. And with this Neptune energy, it's almost like, no, you don't, there's no fire, like what are you talking about, there's no, you don't have to do that. And then it's like, maybe you do, maybe you don't, maybe you do, maybe you don't. But this kind of feels like some energy of people maybe dismissing some of your maybe built up rage or pent up energy or pent up voice, whatever needs to be shared. It doesn't have to be rage. Maybe it's like joy. Maybe it's your, depending on where Sagittarius is within your natal chart, that energy that's you've been working on for a lot of this December time, because we had Mercury retrograde from Sagittarius back into Scorpio, Scorpio back into Sag. So we've had a lot of Sagittarius energy present. So, okay, later in the day on the 1st, Mercury will be moving into Capricorn, which is why I really started to phrase things this way, because it's going to be pretty late at night. So let's jump ahead. I want you guys, oh, actually, well, already moved into Capricorn. So it's around 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So Mercury moves into Capricorn. Guys, I'm so fucking stoked for all this Capricorn energy. I'll definitely need to just do like a little blurb on Capricorn on my newsletter for sure, because again, I also think Capricorn energy gets such a weird rep within mainstream astrology. It's kind of like the workhorse and the, get it done, work hard, do your job. Yes, and there's so much more. Capricorn's actually a feminine sign, guys. It's all about the grandmothers, the crones, the storytellers. Very powerful energy. So Mercury now shifting into sorry, I'm looking at things. Mercury now shifting into, I'm curious. Oh, okay. I think I talked about that another time. Okay, so Mercury shifting into Capricorn is really like, it almost feels like this like soothing balm for the throat, where it's almost like, I just got like the excitement of like, Spirit just showed me like a stone hallway, and like that fun excitement when you're just like in a quiet place and your voice can echo, and it's almost like I feel like you can finally hear your own thoughts, or like it's like this direction of like the fog clearing, and like this direction forward of like, oh, I can actually like think clearly now. I can actually like see the future. I can actually like start moving towards it. Mercury in Capricorn is very disciplined, is very aware of the impact that their words make. This is a shift into this energy of really understanding the impact of what you say and how your words align with your actions. And we have all of this beautiful, powerful stuff hanging out in Capricorn too. So that's Venus, the Sun, and Mars. These are all of our personal planets. Like the core of like a person are their personal planets. Sun, Mercury, Venus, Mars. So yeah, I'm freaking excited about that. Let's see. I'm gonna pause for a second. Anybody have any questions about Mercury in Capricorn? And again, just a little heads up that if you guys can't stay for the whole live stream, I'll be uploading this to YouTube, and my newsletter, I'll be writing this all out after my live stream. I sit and write for the week ahead. Welcome, Laura. Okay, so let's jump to Friday the 2nd. I'm gonna shift this to day jump. So on Friday the 2nd, Chiron stations direct. This is amazing. So we've had Chiron retrograde for a little bit of time. So Chiron is an asteroid. Laura, you need something and no idea what. I would invite you to figure out what you need. So with Chiron, had your chart, I didn't know. I had my chart read recently, but I didn't know if that would be useful info for you to read for me. I haven't looked, but at your reading request when you did send it in, I'm off the clock, except this live stream. I'll be jumping into readings going forward, but if you have more context, feel free to DM me whatever you want, whatever you feel is needed for your reading. So yeah, whatever you feel. Yeah, I haven't looked at, I've had quite a few people get readings. Email would be best, actually, Amber. I like to remain in my emails because DMs get lost pretty easily. I like to be organized. So my email is izzy@astremia.com. And for Laura, we're talking about the astrological forecast for the week ahead. So maybe listening in might give you some guidance. So Chiron moving direct is just opening up this energy again. Whenever a planet's retrograde, it just tends to be more introspective. Okay, it tends to be like we're drawing the focused inward. It's almost like a negative polarity where it's inwards versus external polarity, which would be outwards. And so with Chiron moving direct, there is more. Chiron's been hanging out in Aries for a hot minute, and Chiron lasts about 50 years. 50 years in a sign, is that right? No, it's a 50-year rotation. I was like, that's not right. I was like, wait, no fucking way. So a couple years in each sign. And so Chiron has been in Aries for a hot minute, and Chiron has been really having us explore our wound around our identity. And so this retrograde process that's been happening has been having us really explore the inner depths of that identity wound of like, who am I? Why am I here? What's my purpose? A lot of purpose oriented sort of energy. Like what's my purpose? Why am I here? Why? And so with Chiron going direct, it's almost, this expression might come outward more so more of this like inquiring, asking. It's maybe the wound is a little bit more visible yet again. And depending on where Chiron or where Aries is in your chart, it might be aspecting something of yours. If you have any planets in Aries around the last couple degrees, you might be feeling this. Welcome Alien Biopsy. That's an epic username. So with Chiron going direct, it's going to be more expressive, more of like heart on the sleeve sort of energy. So thanks for the follow. Air like air. Nice. Yeah, so Chiron's direct. Ooh, Aries rising and moon. That's intense, baby girl. Air like air, love it. Okay, let's talk a little bit about this full moon in Cancer that's happening. So we're gonna jump ahead. Let's get it to, what time is this full moon at? It's at, oh my gosh, it's at 3:03 a.m. That's a very important message for somebody watching this. 3:03 a.m. 303 is a great band. Okay. Cool. So let's take a peek here. Guys, this fucking new moon, full moon, new moon, full moon, I can speak. Guys, so we're talking about this. Usually I will have a full video breakdown on my YouTube where I really sit with the energy. Since I'm traveling, I haven't decided if I will yet, but the best way you can find out if I do is subscribing to my YouTube. I'm gonna go, the thing about my YouTube videos, I do YouTube videos on the new and full moons in depth, and I break them down for your rising sign as well. If I don't do a video, I'll definitely have a newsletter out about it. So if that's something you want, get it. My brain just broke. I just literally like rebooted. Yeah, I'm like, how in depth do I want to go? So full moons, for anybody who's new to astrology, I love you too, Amber. You guys just literally saw me just wiped. Hey, it's real. I'm keeping it real here too. Full moons are when the moon is at peak illumination, so that means it's in opposition to the sun. And we can see that here, just looking visually. We can see that the sun, which is this bullseye here, is in opposition with this crescent, which is the moon over here. And they're both at 13 degrees. And the 13 degrees is significant because 13 degrees is in the second decan. And the second decan is ruled by Mercury for the moon and Mars for the sun over here. So there's already some just powerful, like, kind of back and forth rulership. Like, this is a very contained new moon, and that makes sense for me as an astrologer. So I'm going to try to break it down for you guys to kind of give some clarity. So sometimes astrology does this cool thing. So as we dive into the layers of it, you'll find that some of the rulerships will bounce back and forth, and it kind of like ping pongs, and there's a lot of interconnectedness. And basically what I'm trying to say is that this full moon is basically ruling over itself or similar planets within the same sign, which makes it more potent. So full moon in Cancer. Cancer are emotions, guys. Cancer is the first water sign, and it's all about how do I feel. So this is going to be, and the moon is at home in Cancer, guys. This is a big feeling time. Big feelings. Okay. For some of you guys, you're like, feelings. Oh. So this this full moon is also ruled by the Three of Cups tarot card, which is all about like celebration and like friendship. And the sun is hanging out. The sun, Mercury, Mars are all in the second decan of Capricorn, which is ruled by the Three of Pentacles, which is all about like teamwork and stability. I really see like there's an interesting dichotomy happening with this new moon, or why do I keep saying new moon? Full moon full moon because of the fact that I'm like it's when the moon is in a water sign, it's like you can't use words to describe it because it's feeling based, and it's like I wish I could like you guys could tap into my heart with me, just like understand the feeling where it's almost like I feel majority of us, especially after all of these squares that we've had to Saturn and Neptune with all this Sagittarius energy, it's almost like we get all these planets have shifted into Capricorn, we've got all these planets in Capricorn, and it's kind of like, okay, I'm ready to like put in the work, I'm ready to like grind, new year's new me, go. And this Capricorn energy feels so different where it's like, yes, but like the other, it's kind of this energy of like the other shoe isn't going to drop. I think a lot of us are kind of preparing for that because there has been a lot of tension. There has been a lot of stuff that's come up, but I really feel this full moon is really allowing us like the reprieve that we've needed from the holidays, and like this tapping into the heart, and so much grounded support from Mercury in Capricorn, Venus in Capricorn, the sun in Capricorn, Mars in Capricorn. Guys, like it really feels like, oh wait, like it's safe for me to like actually feel these feelings, and I can like feel these things, and like I'm not going to get gaslit, or the world's not going to crumble. And this second decan of Cancer is ruled by Mercury. Mercury just moved into Capricorn. And so there is this sort of energy of like having like, it really feels like they're showing me like masonry, like building things with like, it's like very slow, deliberate, very like if we again took the Three of Cups, Three of Pentacles, and they had a baby, it'd be like, hey. It just, Spirit's so funny sometimes when I'm talking about these transits, because they just showed me, I'm not sure if any of you guys have seen this video on TikTok where this friend like invites her friends over for a paint night, like a wine and paint night, and she didn't tell them what they were painting, and it was her walls because she wanted her walls painted. And it's kind of that energy where it's like you can still like do the like hard things or like the tasks that need to be done, but still have fun doing it and invite people into it. Like what would it look like to have a night where you sat with all your friends or loved ones, whomever like bring you joy and happiness? Sometimes that's not blood. I can understand that. Sometimes it's chosen family, whatever it is for you, and like really sitting and being like, you know, what do I want? Like, what do we want? What do we want to build? Like, and it really seems like this very supportive, like heart expressive energy. I could see for some people it might feel really uncomfortable to like express your heart if that's not a familiar thing for you, where it's like where it feels safe to feel feelings. So this full moon could feel a little like, is it safe? And ultimately it comes down to like your self-trust, right? And like, is it safe? Can I do this? But I'm really excited for this full moon in Cancer. Ooh, sorry, I just realized where it's falling for me personally. Though I am an astrologer, I too sometimes forget to look at the astrology for myself. So wherever Cancer is for you guys, like there's just gonna be like this more like I just saw like a heart-shaped padlock and like a key going in, and it's like, oh, something's unlocking here. It seems like something's being unlocked for some people for this full moon in Cancer, and it probably has to do with your emotional well-being, your emotional expression, feeling safe in your feelings. And again, I can't express more. This Capricorn energy is so fucking delicious that we have here. And like literally Venus is at 12 degrees, Sun is at 13, Mars is at 14 degrees. So all of this energy is coming into play with this full moon. So our emotional, like our giving and receiving love with Venus, our will and drive, like it's like it's really giving like inner union, this sort of like coming together, and the moon in Cancer being the like the love child of this configuration of like, yeah, I'm building these foundations for myself so it is safe to feel these feelings, so I can like allow there to be expression, because Cancer is the whole ocean. And the thing about Capricorn, it's the sea goat. It literally can traverse the land and sea. It is so powerful. So Amber, Neptune is a generational planet. And so there's a lot of people that have Neptune in Capricorn, but if it's making specific aspects to like personal planets or personal pieces, like if you had like a whole thing happening in Capricorn, it might be more powerful. But you're in that generation that has Neptune in Capricorn, which I am too, and we definitely have a very interesting like relationship to authority, right? I also feel like we're kind of the people where like there wasn't a lot of like guidelines around the internet at that time too. I don't know why that just came through. Totally random sidebar there. But I'm excited. When I was looking at this, it really feels like there's going to be a lot of beautiful collaborative energy. And it's like, yes, you with you, but you with your friends, your family. Like it really feels like this beautiful, like building energy. Yeah, again, I just like see you having fun, like building structures for yourself where it's almost like this reprogramming of the heart and the mind of like, it doesn't have to be fucking hard all the time. That like keeping yourself accountable, keeping yourself disciplined, or as one of my friends said, they don't like the word discipline. Was it you, Graham? Or was it Callie? Somebody said this, said that they don't use the word discipline, they use the word devotion for things. And I really feel that devotional energy where it's like expressing your devotion, or like really expressing that it doesn't have to be like this whole like it's New Year's, I've got to set my goals, I gotta like make sure that I like go to the gym. It's like, can it just be fun? Can you like do it with joy? Like it really feels like there's gonna be a lightness here, and like an emotional release too, of like really realizing how much work that you've put in 2025, and now you're like in this entirely new space. It feels like a massive emotional release for some people, because it's Cancer. I'm not gonna ignore the fact that it's big feeling time. Whew, that's it. That's all, you guys. Perfect timing, Amber. Yes, this was awesome. And for those of you who maybe jumped in a little bit later, I will be re-uploading this to YouTube and writing it all out on my newsletter. You can subscribe to my newsletter through the link in my bio. And here I'm gonna put oh, maybe not. Let me do this for y'all. But yeah, I'm really feeling it good. Feeling the hello. Can this work? There we go. I do want to leave time and space for anybody if they have any questions. And while you guys are gathering some thoughts around questions, and this doesn't have to be about this week ahead, this can be like any astrology related questions that you may have, please drop them in the chat. So again, just a recap for the week ahead: on the 30th, Mercury squares Saturn. On January 1st, Mercury squares Neptune, and the Mercury moves into Capricorn. On the 2nd, Chiron stations direct. And then on the 3rd, we have a full moon in Cancer. I almost said Capricorn. In Cancer. Gosh, my words lately. At 13 degrees, that's the second decan, ruled by the Three of Cups. So powerful feelings. I can feel my voice getting hoarse. Getting a little hoarse.